the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
And coming up on the news at noon, a man found dead by workers at the Kennedy Center, and the questions police right now are trying to answer. And later, a campaign promise fizzles, why you can't dial up Virginia's tip line for critical race theory complaints. And good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for DC News Now at noon. I'm Mark Hall. Meteorologist Damon Matson joins us with the latest check on your forecast. Damon, first of all, happy Friday, my friend. It is beautiful out. I hope it's an indication of the weekend to come.
Happy Friday indeed, Mark. And oh yes, that weather is still looking pretty good for us out there. The fog from this morning has finally dissipated away, and now the sunshine has returned. So with that in mind, how much are we going to dial up those temperatures as we go to the start of the weekend? We'll let you know here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. We have breaking news at the top of the hour. Prince George's County police say that 2 people have been killed in a shooting at a grocery store on Oxon Hill. A news release from Prince George's County Police is saying that this was an isolated attack. There's no greater threat to the community. Our Dave Laval is live on scene learning more. Dave, what are police telling you?
Mark, the only thing that police out here have told us is that 2 people are dead following the shootings that took place at the Giant grocery store. They did not tell us what time it happened, where the shootings took place, and who's involved, along with a motive. What they also did tell us is that a news conference will take place. Not sure on a time yet. They're still gathering all the information. While we talk about what's going on out here in the parking lot, let me step away so you can see exactly what we got going on. We have a heavy police presence at this shopping center. The entire parking lot around Giant is roped off right now. It's the only part of the shopping center that is closed. It's also the only store that is closed at this moment. Looks like got about a dozen squad cars out here as police are investigating, still trying to put together exactly what happened here earlier this morning. Again, just 2 people are dead following the shootings that took place here at the Giant store. As we said, there is a news conference that will happen. What police mentioned is that they expect that it could be relatively soon before that happens. And once that does take place, we will get that information out to you. Right now, we are live in Oxon Hill. Dave Laval, DC News Now.
Dave Laval, thank you. Happening now, a man found dead in the parking garage at the Kennedy Center. As of now, much of the information has not been released to the public, including the identity of the man found in the garage. DC News Now's Christy Matino is live at the scene. And Christy, police are unsure of what exactly happened this morning.
Yeah, that's right, Mark. This is a very active investigation, and that's because we still don't have a whole lot of answers. We don't know who this man is, how he died, or who killed him. Police are still on scene here investigating all the way down to Rock Creek Parkway behind me. DC police tell us a worker at the Kennedy Center found this man dead near the parking garage. Now, that was around 7:30 this morning. Police say it appears he walked to the area near the entrance. They say, though, it doesn't appear to be where the crime actually happened. They're still working to figure that out. The man has several trauma wounds, some fresh and some in the healing stages. It has police baffled. Now they're working to find out exactly how he died.
Initially, the call was for a shooting, which obviously was put out in, but right now, just kind of based upon what we know a little bit more into the investigation, we're unsure of the type of injury that it is. Whether it's a gunshot wound, stab wound, we just don't know just yet.
Yeah, and so police are asking anyone with information about what happened this morning to contact them. A representative from the Kennedy Center tells us that the shows here will go on as normal as police continue to investigate. However, the parking garage, the levels B and C will be closed, and the surrounding area. So if you are planning to head to the center today, plan accordingly. Live in Northwest, Christy Matino, DC News Now.
Christy, thank you. A former housekeeper for Jeff Bezos has filed a discrimination lawsuit against him and the companies that manages his properties. This is coming out of Seattle, where Amazon's headquarters is located. This comes after a woman named Mercedes says that she was subjected to chronic overwork, alleging that she was made to work 14-hour shifts without assigned breaks and did not have reasonable access to a bathroom. She says the lack of available bathrooms led to her and the other housekeepers to develop urinary tract infections. She also claims that employees of the two companies were racially discriminated against Hispanic workers like her in favor of white employees. A spokesperson for Bezos has denied the allegations. A Northern Virginia veterans organization is running low on funds for a program its members say is critical for their well-being. Some of its members need extra help in providing them with a ride to get them safely to and from appointments on time. DC News Now's Max Marcilla reports that it can be the difference between life and death.
If I miss a day, it could be a day that when I go to sleep, I could pass away.
That's just how important Eddie Acosta's dialysis appointments are. We met Acosta at his home in Bristow. His health problems led him to retire after a career in the Navy and CIA that started in 1982.
When you're at that position in life where you're blind, and when you have your kidneys goes out that you have to go to dialysis, you're going to need help.
Help for him is as simple as a ride to and from his appointments every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and that's what Nova Vets has provided.
We don't want to add burden to our veterans who are already going through so much.
With help from federal COVID funds, Angela McConnell's Nova Vets has provided around 200 rides a month for veterans like Acosta. But that funding is just about gone, 8 months before it was supposed to run out because of a dramatic increase of vets in need.
Access to health care is one of the biggest barriers that our veterans have.
Acosta faces a tough battle for his health, but says it would be impossible without the transportation help.
To be in a predicament where you have nobody and you have somebody to say, that they're there, it's priceless.
As for a solution, McConnell is searching for funding help from any direction, from fellow organizations to state and federal government sources.
I have a lot of promises, but I haven't had any follow through yet.
And that was Max Marcilla reporting. McConnell says the program has received great feedback because each veteran receives what they need, whether it's a wheelchair accessible vehicle or someone will wait for them if their appointment runs long. Well, looking ahead, if you live in Maryland, you have only 6 more months to get your Real ID license. Next May, Maryland residents will need a Real ID driver's license or an ID card to fly or enter a federal facility. Now, to get your Real ID, you'll need to show proof of age and identity along with your Social Security card and residency documents. If you have a star in your driver's license or ID card, that means that you are Real ID compliant. Paul Pelosi has been released from the hospital less than a week after a man broke into his home and attacked him with a hammer. Pelosi will remain under doctor's care at home, according to his wife, Nancy Pelosi. The Speaker of the House's husband was taken to a San Francisco hospital after police responded to a break-in at his home. Pelosi's release comes as a federal official revealed the attacker, David DePape, should have been flagged by immigration officials and blocked from returning to the U.S. from Canada. DePape had overstayed his authorized entry into the U.S. more than 2 decades ago. Well, the Department of Justice considering creating a special counsel to oversee 2 widespread federal investigations relating to former President Donald Trump. The counsel would assist an investigation of Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election and his alleged mishandling of documents related to national security. This decision comes as former President Trump inches closer to launching another run to become president.
It's communism, what's going on in our country. They're weaponizing the Justice Department. They've weaponized things that were not supposed to be weaponized.
The DOJ plans to ramp up its investigations into the former president after the midterm elections are over. And with just 4 days to go until the midterm elections, nearly 33 million voters have already cast their ballots. Democrats and Republicans are putting things in high gear to try and motivate voters. Washington correspondent Rashad Hudson joins us with more.
We're just getting started.
President Biden spent Thursday evening campaigning in San Diego for Congressman Mike Levin, who is in a tough re-election battle.
It's not a referendum. It's a choice. a choice between two fundamentally different versions of America.
The president warned voters about what he believes is at stake in this election.
And if they gain control of the Congress, they plan on passing a nationwide ban on abortion across the board.
Also on the campaign trail was former President Trump, stumping in Iowa, a state that is typically considered safe for Republicans.
We want America to come first.
The former president was there to campaign for Senator Chuck Grassley, where he criticized the policies of Democrats.
With your vote, you can reject left-wing tyranny and proudly declare that America will always remain a free country.
That was Rashad Hudson reporting this weekend. President Biden and former Presidents Trump and Obama will be in battleground state of Pennsylvania. Well, Oprah Winfrey gave her support for Pennsylvania Democrat Senate candidate John Fetterman on Tuesday. Winfrey has been a longtime friend of Republican candidate Dr. Mehmet Oz, but chose to take the side of Fetterman. The longtime talk show host said that if she lived in Pennsylvania, she would have already voted for the current lieutenant governor. Winfrey backed several other Democrat and Senate gubernatorial candidates, including Georgia Senator Raphael Warnock and Texas gubernatorial candidate Beto O'Rourke.